Hey, this is Rick with Social Good Software. In this short guide, I'm going to be sharing with you how to add a household and then also how to prevent some of the data being shared between individuals in a household. I'm going to be sharing with you the process of creating a household, which I'll show you here in a second. And I'll also share with you how to update the household information without having to copy the information over from constituent to constituent. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here. We're going to go ahead and create a new record here. So I'm going to say add a new individual. So what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be adding a spouse. There we go. And now we're going to add an email. Great. Now we're going to head over to household. And we're going to go ahead and link this individual to my personal record here to be a household. So I'm going to go look for myself here. There I am. And then now I get a couple of options here. You can see here, I can select what Lara is. In this case, she's going to be a spouse, domestic partner, and then Rick Hernandez is a spouse, domestic partner. Now, in this case, I can say copy Lara's Hernandez primary contact information to the household. What this will do, this will simply just move over Lara's contact information up to the household. In this case, I'm not going to check that, but if you want, you can. This will just simply assign the email address of Lara at socialgoodsoftware.com to the household. That's completely up to you if you want to enable that. It doesn't really make sense in my case to do that. I'd rather just keep the data separate, but there's no downside of doing this to be able to move this over into that constituent record. And then here's another section here. It says copy Lara's primary contact information to Rick Hernandez. Now this is the important one. This is where it's going to override Rick's information with Lara's primary information. In this case, we do not want to have that, so you want to make sure you uncheck this one. You can check this one or uncheck that one. That one doesn't really matter. This is the one that's important. You want to make sure that one's unchecked, so we're not copying over Lara's information over to Rick. So now if we go ahead and click on save, this is going to go ahead and create the constituent record for us. There we go. The constituent record has been created. And you can see here how we have Lara and Rick Hernandez household. And if we go to contact information, you'll see that Lara currently still has her information. And if we go over to my record and you go to contact information, you can see here I still have my own information here. So this is great because it didn't overwrite any of the information. Now, if we go back to Lara's record here and we go to contact information, and let's say Lara goes ahead and says, hey, I've updated my email address, please change it, or the email address gets updated. If you go on edit here, and if you do the change yourself manually, so Lara, let's say changes it over to gmail.com. You can definitely do it like this, and this will change the email address. But the important one here is if you're adding a secondary email. So let's say, for example, Lara still wants to keep her Social Good Software one. Now, let's say she wants to add a new one. So we can go select our type in the new email. And you can see here, this is the important checkbox. Copy the email address to the household and members. In our case, we do not want to check this one because if we do, it's going to override my information with Lara's information. And in this case, we do not want to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and uncheck that and I'm going to click save. And you can see here, here's the new email address. And if I hop over to my record, you will see that there is no other additional email addresses appended to me. So that's the right way for you to be able to add a household, whether you're creating one or updating one. That's the process you should go through. If you check that checkbox, those two checkboxes that I shared with you, then you will be copying information over to these other records. And then now we have two constituent records that are sharing the same email address. That's not what we want. So make sure you uncheck those two checkboxes when you're first creating the constituent record, and also when you are also updating any of the additional information. And that's going to go ahead and do it here for me. Once again, this is Rick from Social Good Software. Hopefully you found this video helpful. We're always looking to improve and make things better. If something was not clearly explained in this video, or maybe you just are still a little bit confused and have some additional questions, that we didn't talk about in the video, don't worry, we're here to help. Please go over to Social Good Software /feedback. You're able to provide us feedback on this training. You're able to provide us feedback on the software. We're always looking to improve. So if you have any suggestions, please reach out to us. Again, socialgoodsoftware.com /feedback. You'll be able to go ahead and share your thoughts with us, and we're always happy to help.